Right now, in this exact second, your brain is manufacturing a false memory. Not a huge one, a small one. A detail you changed without noticing, a color that wasn't quite that color, a sentence nobody actually said that way. And here's the unsettling part, it feels just as real as any other memory you own. Because your memory isn't a recording device, it's a reconstruction factory and it works full shifts every single day without you ever knowing. For decades, people assumed remembering worked like replaying a video saved on a hard drive. You reach into the drawer, pull out the memory, and see it exactly as it happened. But neuroscience found something different. Every time you recall something, your brain doesn't play it back. It rebuilds it from scratch using loose fragments and then stores it again. That process is called reconsolidation, and it comes with an uncomfortable consequence. Every time you access a memory, there's a brief window where that memory becomes moldable, like wet clay. If you receive new information during that window, even if it's wrong, your brain can stitch it right into the original memory. And you won't notice the seam. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus proved this with an experiment that's now a classic. She showed a group of people footage of a car accident, then asked how fast the vehicles were going when they contacted each other. She asked another group the exact same question but changed one single word: when they smashed into each other. Nothing else changed. One different word in the question. The second group didn't just estimate higher speeds. A week later, many of them swore they'd seen broken glass at the scene. There was no broken glass. There never had been. Their brains added it in so the story would make sense with the word they'd heard. This sounds like a flaw, but it's actually a function. Your brain isn't built to archive the past with notary-level precision. It's built for something more useful to your survival: extracting patterns to predict what comes next. If you had to store every second of your life in perfect detail, you'd need a brain the size of a building and energy your body simply doesn't have. So instead of saving the full video, it saves the general idea, the emotional summary, and fills in the gaps every time it needs to recall something. That filler almost always comes from your current beliefs, things you heard afterward, photos you saw, or what other people told you about that same moment. Loftus took this even further. In another study, she got participants to vividly remember an event that never happened: getting lost in a shopping mall as a child. All it took was a family member confirming the story and a few guided questions repeated over time. By the end, some participants didn't just accept the memory as real. They added their own details: the color of the stranger's clothes to help them, how they felt, what they were thinking, all invented by their own brain on top of a foundation that wasn't even true. And here's the part that's probably going to bother you a little. This doesn't just happen to people in experiments. It happens to you. That childhood memory you treasure, that argument you swear happened a very specific way. That perfect moment you always describe the exact same way. It likely has pieces your brain quietly swapped out over the years every time you retold it, every time you replayed it in your head. Not because you're lying, but because that's how memory actually works. It doesn't store the past, it rebuilds it every time, using whatever materials it has on hand in the present. So next time you're completely certain something happened exactly the way you remember it, it's worth asking yourself an uncomfortable question. Are you remembering what happened, or are you remembering the last time you remembered it?